Hello, welcome to Toffee TV. Me and James continuing our transfer target videos. We are talking midfielders. Today, 5 midfielders we'd like Everton to have a look at this summer. Obviously, David Moyes, big rebuild to do, lots of players leaving. We've already done our forward video, so check that one out. And we're on to midfield players. When you look at Everton's midfielders right now, we've got James Garner, Timmy Abunim, Harrison Armstrong.
Maybe.
That's Richard Gay. If he stays with at the time of recording, he hasn't confirmed he is. And I suppose Carlos Alcaraz goes in there as well. But if Everton are to add another midfielder, and I know we're going to go through them, but what do you think's the most important, like a defensive one or a creative midfield player?
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because our midfield looks very bare at the minute. Just with, sort of people either not being up to quality or not really having the experience and stuff like your Abunims and stuff. Where I feel like they can be good players, but right now I feel like we need someone who's a bit stronger, a bit bigger, and like a good defence, like a number 6 really. We need just out and out number 6. Honestly, we spoke about it a load on the live. Amadou Onana would be perfect for the 17 right now. If you could just get another version of him and put him in the Everton team, that'd be great for me. But just someone who will allow Gay to, carry on what he's doing, where he can just run across the pitch and get the ball whenever he needs it, but can sit back and hold it, because you look at like the attacking midfielders we've got, and you've got Alcaraz and you've got Ndai, you can also play there, and even McNeil really, you can sort of do that role. So I feel like that isn't really at the forefront of what I want right now. But that 6, someone who's solid at the back would be great, but then also box to box would be great too, because obviously you've got to replace the core. So. But I think if I could pick one, it'd be that sort of big number 6. You can just sort the midfield out and win loads of challenges, really.
Okay, well, let's get into it. And the first person we're going to discuss isn't a big number 6, but he is a very, very highly rated player who's been linked with Everton, of course. And it is Habib Diarra. Let's have a look at his numbers right now. So there we go, 21 years of age. His height, 1.78 metres, so he's not the big number 6 you want, James.
I'll take him in those ones.
Yeah, he's Strasbourg. Obviously, he's around 30 million euros to say in for Diarra. We'll see whether that's right. He's right-footed this season, 33 games in league, earned 4 goals. He's been capped at the time of recording this 4 times for Senegal, and no goals as yet. If we move on to, these are just league only, so 30 games in the league, started 27 of them. He's got 4 goals, created 9 chances. He's averaging 0.7 tackles per game, so it's less than the 1. He's got a passing accuracy of 87%. You can see his heat map there, does a lot down that right hand side, can play there as well, of course. And if we look here, game touches 43.5 he averages a game, 3 ball recoveries a game, key passes 0.9. He wins 49% of his duel, and that one there at the end, the dribbles 29%. That shocked me, because you watch quite a bit of him. He is good at moving the ball and going beyond people, but quite clearly getting it back in that midfield duels and just passing. He's quite high at ball carries though, so maybe not necessarily going 1v1, but taking the ball up the pitch. I think he's in for ball carries something like the 92nd percentile or something, which means he's the top 8% in Europe at carrying the ball, travelling with the ball. And 21, he's been the captain of Strasbourg as well at times. I think he's, he looks really good. I know he's been linked also with Leeds United at the minute, a couple of others, for around 22 million euros. It is one of the fees quoted, but obviously we've got 30 million in, because that's what was said. Is he someone you'd like Everton to pursue?
Absolutely. I think when you watch all the clips of him, he just looks so comfortable on the ball every time he gets it. And I'm surprised that his dribble percentage is so low, because a lot of the time he's just easily gliding past people, and he just looks like a perfect midfielder in a way, with how he carries the ball up. And I'm surprised that his assist and stuff isn't higher. And I know Strasbourg have a young team, but to be the captain for like a prolonged period there, it shows how good of a player he is. And as you said, Leeds and Chelsea both linked to him, so he'll have a lot of suitors, and I feel like he'd just be a perfect fit for him.
I think he's got 6 assists. I think he's got 4 goals, 6 assists in league, so 10 goal involvements from midfield. We don't our midfielders haven't really done that, apart from Dwight McNeil. I think the dribbling is probably low because he tries a lot of dribbles as well. It's just whether he's successful or not. Sometimes running into 3 men with the ball isn't the best idea. But me personally, 21 years of age, I think he's perfect. Being linked with Everton last summer, linked with Everton in January, I mean, there's even rumours he was shown round Finch Farm. I don't think they were accurate, but certainly them links have been there. So,
and he can fill in for like multiple positions as well. He can be an attacker, can be a box to box, but he's also played out on the wing and stuff. So it gives a lot of options for Everton too. And
again, the exact type of profile I think we should be going after. Obviously, Chelsea have got the links with, you know, Todd Bowley, got, you know, Clear Blue or whatever. Not like it's a pregnancy test, isn't it? Whatever they're called.
Them,
Blue something. Them group owned Strasbourg, Chelsea as well. So I think really Everton be great for Everton to go and get him. Be an interesting one. Let's move on to our second person. So the second person we're going to look at is Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. There we go. Age 26, height 1.76. Is at Chelsea, of course. Position midfield. One of the fees quoted we've seen is £25 million, but I actually think you could get him on loan, and I think maybe he will be better suited to Everton on loan. Some Moyes can try before he buys. There we go. Left foot, 31 games overall. I've sort of fudged the numbers here because he played a couple of games in the Prem. Started, so these are all of the games he played for Chelsea last season. 31 games, 4 goals, hasn't been capped at full international level. If we look at him here, games 31, started 15 of them, 4 goals, chances created 4. He averages 0.7 tackles per game, and his passing accuracy is at 89%, all over the pitch there. And finally, here we go. He's averaging 54 touches a game, 2.8 ball recoveries. He has 1.5 key passes per game, won 59% of his duels, and his dribbles are at 60%.
Wow.
So, I've included him because Everton were linked with him sort of last summer. Like I said, I think he was involved in 13 league games for Chelsea, but he started 2 of them.
Yeah.
You know, and he was just subbing some, and I think left foot can get about the pitch. He's obviously more creative midfield player than the 6 that you wanted. He'd have to probably be an 8.
Yeah.
But does create...
I'm still open to other midfielders.
Oh, yeah. Does try. I mean, if you look at Everton's midfield from last season, and I include Harrison Armstrong in this and Alcaraz because they were at the club at the same time, we've lost ngal'ayel and we've lost Decore.
Yeah.
And David Moyes said we didn't have enough last season.
Yeah.
And that was without them. Them 2 have gone.
Yeah.
So we haven't replaced anyone because when he said that, Alcaraz was on loan. So you could argue and make a case that he actually could do with 2 more midfielders. I don't really see that happening unless they do send Armstrong out. So with Dewsbury-Hall on loan would make sense. Don't forget he can play off the left as well. So if Everton could get him on loan, he'd be an option, I think, to bring in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when he signed for Chelsea, it was sort of a big signing for them because they got Maresca and he'd done so well with Leicester in the Championship. And it just hasn't worked out for him. And I don't know why, because you sort of watch him play and you think he's a good player and, you know, he's really good on the ball and his dribbling at 60%, but you actually watch it and he beats players all the time and his passing's really good too, and he's intelligent with it. Like some of the passes he plays out, but for some reason he just doesn't get a game in the Premier League. So I think it's a good one really for all parties, with the fact that if it is a loan, he comes to Everton and you get an opportunity, or we go on to sign him, or someone else goes on to sign him, and he's not really being utilised at Chelsea. So I think it makes a lot of sense for him, and that's what we were saying in January as well, that there's no point in keeping him if he's not going to play in the league.
Well, he did play most of the Conference League games, and he obviously won it, and he was very good in the UEFA Conference League. He done really well. That's pushed his numbers right up, obviously, because of the league. So, but he doesn't play in the Premier League.
But you said as well, if you go on his stats, he's in like the top percentile for most things.
He is. If you look at it as compared with other players in Europe, he's in the 90s for a lot of the stuff, which is really good. Like, you know, the top, in most cases, he's in the top 5 or 6%. Now, I know they've took that heavily based on the Conference League performances, but that's where he is. So, you know, quality footballer, good age, loads of experience, Premier League and in the Championship, good left foot. Why not? If Everton could get him on loan, why not? Okay, let's move on to our third midfielder. So here we go. Next one we're looking at is Mohamed Diamande at Rangers. Age 23, height 1.83 metres. Club Rangers, of course, midfielder. The fee quota for him is £25 million. Left-footed. He's played 31 games, 4 goals. He's been capped twice by the Ivory Coast. He hasn't scored yet for them. If we have a look here, this is just the league games. Only 36 league games, 32 starts. He scored 4 goals. Chances created 11. He's averaging 1.2 tackles per game. His passing accuracy 87%. See his heat map there. He's everywhere, all over the pitch. He's averaging 50.7 touches per game. 4.1 ball recoveries, 1.2 key passes. His duels won 55%, and his dribble success 65%. Oh. So this is a player that I've seen recently. A few people at Rangers and up Scotland saying he's 3 players rolled into one. Yeah. That's what he's like. Great age at 23. Everton credited with an interest in him, of course, as well. I feel like you probably have to temper the numbers slightly because it's in the SPL. But is Diamande someone that you like the look of, or are you a little bit cautious because it is sort of Scotland?
No, I'm not necessarily cautious, because you see some come out who do really well. But reading about them and how like Rangers fans feel, I was reading through this like Rangers fan blog, and they were all talking about how much they love him and how they want like Rangers to build the whole team around him, and they were worried about Everton coming in for him just because of how much they value him. And as you said, they're all talking about how he's basically 3 players in one. Like, he's really good for them defensively, really good for them attacking wise, and can do basically everything for them. And so, if you look at sort of the Everton team, the midfielders we have been playing, like a James Garner, James Garner sort of fits that mould where he can do everything. So if you want to improve on that with a Diamande who can do everything as well, and he's a good age too, I feel like he feels like a perfect signing for our midfield, really. And I know, obviously, the Scottish League, you've got to look at his numbers in a different way, but he's only 23, isn't he? He's only going to improve, and if he can show he can do it now, I don't see why he couldn't do it in the Premier League as well.
And you've got the balance again. He's left-footed, and he is a bit all action. You know, and he's got a few goals as well, created chances. So
I know the complaint to him is that like sometimes he loses his concentration and gets into like bad positions for himself, but they're probably ones that just come with playing the game more than age and stuff. And so, as you said, if we've got the midfield we've got now and 2 extras, and he's one of the 2 extras, there's other players to come in to sort of get that competition where he will grow as a player, and then Everton will get the benefits from it.
Yeah, listen, he's an interesting one. There's others as well, but you know, again, it's always worth looking at, especially because the club has been linked so heavily with him. It was worth looking at him, but he looks like a good player. Is he good enough for Everton? Don't know, but he's certainly worth looking at because his numbers tell you that he's worth looking at as well. Okay, let's move on to number 4. So the 4th one is ngal'ayel Mukai. I'm going to call him Ngal. He's 20 years of age, height 1.86. He plays for Lille, again following the Onana route. He's a midfielder, and the fee is reportedly around €22 million. He's valued at. He's left-footed. Again, he's had 22 games last season, no goals. He's been capped twice by the Democratic Republic of Congo. He hasn't scored a goal for them yet. If we look at his heat map, there you can see the red bits where he occupies the most. 22 games, started 14 of them, didn't score any goals and didn't create any chances. He does have 1.5 tackles per game, and his passing accuracy is 90%. And we look at the final one there, 37.3 touches per game, 2.9 ball recoveries per game, key passes 0.5, but he wins 54% of his duels, and his dribbles are at 53%. Now, you can look at that and go, no goals, no chances. He's a defensive midfield player. He is the midfield player position that you were sort of thinking about with Onana. And the fact that Mukai does that role is really important. Obviously, again, Lille, Amadou Onana, there's the likeness. He is tall. He's not as big as Amma, but he is tall. Gets into them tackles, wins the ball a lot, left-footed, nice bit of balance as well. He is someone who would protect that area while Idrissa goes off bombing.
Yeah, his passing accuracy was good as well. His passing accuracy was good as well.
Good passer at the ball. Wins a lot of his duels, but can dribble the strength on the ball. And 20 years of age, you know, loads of room to grow. You're talking about a number 6.
Yeah.
Could he be the person that fills that role?
I mean, when I was watching the highlights of him, he had that thing that Idrissa has, and Onana in a way, when he makes tackles and you don't know how his legs bent that way to get the ball. And he just kept doing that, and I thought that was something that, you know, was key, would be key for us. And he's sort of the more defensive midfielder that I do want. And as you said, he's only 20, wins the ball, wins a lot of his duels, good passing, so he's sort of perfect for that role where he can win the ball and then he gets it out wide to whether it's an ngal'ayel or whoever we do sign. And I feel like he'd be perfect for us, and that's the sort of, I don't know, the sort of type of player I want Everton to sign, importantly.
See, the thing with him as well is obviously you're transitioning from Idrissa. You know, that's a bit, again, keep having to say if he signs this new deal. But his age, and you want to be able to build a midfield, and that you might want to, he'll develop with Idrissa, but also the role he plays. You've also got James Garner there as well, so you can sort of keep an eye on him if you feel like he needs a blow. You've got others to go in there, but 20 years of age, he's someone I think Everton can develop, and you'd get your money back off, you'd increase your money. This is what, if you're looking for that number 6, no, some people are going, I want more creative players rather than defensive players, but you do need both. Some games you need someone just to sit there, allow your other players, and it could be that for them games the manager uses a slightly different formation, whereas you'd have a Mukai sitting, and you'd have a Idrissa and maybe an Alcaraz chasing and harrying in midfield, or whoever, but you'd have that insurance that he is in front of you two.
That profile as well, isn't it? That, you know, you've got your Idrissa who's not really that type of player, but James Garner and Erabunum and stuff, ideally they're not being defensive midfielders, because you know, James Garner was a number 10 for Forest when he done well, and Erabunum, I know we've not seen loads of him yet, but in the bits that you'd have seen, sort of how he progresses with the ball and how he attacks has sort of been his strength, really. So you don't want to force him back, so you want that profile of someone like a 6 to come in, so that these players aren't forced to sit back and sort of be out of their position in a way.
No, I think he's a really interesting one, and one that Everton should monitor anyway, but you know, he fits that sort of profile, and he does. That's what we need. We need someone to sit in there, and again, it's all about progression over time, isn't it? Could Everton do him and another one? Who knows? But he's one definitely worth keeping an eye on. Okay, who's next? Let's have a look. Last but not least, people will know this fella, Yves Bassuma at Tottenham. He's 28 years of age, height 1.82. A fee of around, he's got a year left, I think, so £20 million has been quoted for him. Obviously, I think he's 29 soon, so that's why. He's right-footed, 44 games, 2 goals. He's been capped 36 times by Marley, got 5 goals for them. This is his league performance last season. 28 games involved and started 16 of them, 2 goals. Didn't create any chances. Does have 1.8 tackles per game and a passing accuracy of 89%. 38.8 touches per game. He has 3 ball recoveries per game, 0.2 key passes, wins 51% of his duels, and has a 32% dribbling accuracy. Again, Bassuma, more of a defensive midfield player. Premier League, very good at Brighton. Scored a worldie against us once when we beat them 4-2 in COVID from the edge of the box. It was a great volley. Spurs, it's been up and down, I think. You know, Brighton, there was a lot of clubs after him. Tottenham got him, and it hasn't. It's been decent for them, but I think I expected more from him at Spurs, maybe. But again, if you're looking at David Moyes and David Moyes wanting maybe Premier League experience, he's Bassuma, you know, go and get Bassuma and Mukai and have the 2 of them. One, you know, to replace the other. But Bassuma's someone who's been mentioned. How do you feel about him? Because he was very, very highly rated at Brighton, wasn't he?
I know he was really, he was like the Caicedo before Caicedo. And I think Tottenham got him for like 25 million, and everyone was saying how much of a steal it was for them. And then since he's been there, he's been alright, hasn't he? He's not really reached the levels that everyone thought he would, where like he'd be one of the best midfielders in the league. But like, he's not done too bad either. And I know recently he's had some more like injury problems and stuff like that, which has kept him out. But I think if you watch sort of his game, he's still a really good player. And I think it's probably his time for him to move on from Tottenham, because, you know, he's starting to slowly get phased out with like the Benton cause and stuff, like taking up the team. And I do still think he has something good to offer, like especially for Everton. I'm not sure if paying 25 million is the right idea for Everton. I think it'd be something cheaper for his age, but he's someone who gets on the ball and progresses well. And I'm surprised as well that his dribbling success is so low, because whenever you watch videos of him or you see him, he always seems like he's beating players, and like his football IQ, let's say, is always seems really smart with how he takes touches, now he gets past people and stuff. So I think I'd be interested, but not for 25 million. And I think you're right. I think if you signed him and then Mukai, I think that makes a lot of sense, because he helps in the short term, then Mukai hopefully takes over in a year's time when you have got that more defensive midfielder, and I think it works perfect for Everton, mate. And he has got the experience. Interesting.
There's a couple of notable sort of players to look out for as well. I haven't looked at them in close quarters really, but obviously Christantos Uche, who has been linked with Everton from Toffee, very good, a bit more of an attacking midfield player, but looks like a really good player. I'd be delighted if Everton bought him. He's 22 years of age. And there's Buadi at Lille, who's only 17. He's going to be one to watch. Very good player, midfield player, but I don't think Moyes should be going for him at this stage, but he's definitely one to look out for. Looks like a really good player. There you go. That's our midfield targets who we think Everton should be looking at. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Anyone we've missed out you'd like to see Everton go, and if you had to choose out of those 5, one for Everton to take, who would it be and why? Make sure you like, subscribe, join us on Premier if you want. All the links are in the description. Make sure you share the video. Thanks for watching. See you later.